Hello, and welcome back to the Limitless podcast. So honored to be with you today. We are 3 days from actually closing on our house, and we will be fully out of this house and into the new. So, still a lot of construction going on in the new house, but ready to be settled for sure. I literally have been carrying around a little bag, a duffel bag for the last 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks with wedding, with moving. I just shuffle it back and forth. So it will be good to have a routine. That's for sure. My personality is I definitely do better with routine and structure. So I've been really good with this. I'm super proud of myself that I haven't absolutely lost my mind. But super excited to be settled, super excited to have a brand new office. And I can't wait to show you. This one is empty, obviously. And yeah, lots and lots of exciting things happening. So again, welcome to the Limitless podcast. I want to talk to you today. We're going to dive into more about having a conscious relationship, having a conscious marriage. And, so many of us are just running our marriage on what we've been taught, what was modeled for us from the past. And the interesting thing about marriage, about relationships, is it's what we've observed is the education that we have received. We have not really ever received education on how to have a healthy, vibrant, flourishing, joyful marriage. And having a very conscious marriage will provide just that. There aren't these little sneaky things that are running behind the scenes that you guys are unaware of in a conscious marriage. So a conscious marriage is really being aware of truly what's running the show and what the real issue is. And it's not surface level. It actually goes to the deeper level of what's causing the issue, what's causing the triggers, where you can heal that. So with this particular episode, we're going to talk about the silent treatment, because I know there's all kinds of titles for this. There's the avoidant and blah, blah, blah. Just to be quite honest with you, I don't like labels. I think they add to the problem. And it doesn't matter if you avoid, if you run, if it doesn't matter. But to put a label on it and label yourself something is actually causing something much deeper. So we're going to talk about what it really is. It's the silent treatment. And the silent treatment, it becomes a shield for us. And I want to dive into this and really talk about what that looks like in your marriage and why we do that. It isn't just the woman that does that. A man will do that as well. And Mark and I have talked many times about the silent treatment for me means something very different than the silent treatment for him. For him, he needs to go run and go to his safe space. And in that safe space is where he can process things and come back and learn how to communicate without being reactive. So that's what that is for him. And we have addressed that. We have talked about that. And when he says, I need to go into my safe space and process, I know that he's going to come back and we are going to work through the issue. Now, for me, it's a whole other thing. And I'm going to dive into what that is for me, giving the silent treatment. And this is something that we've worked through. It doesn't happen. I don't go into that space. Very rarely do I go into that space, because I recognize what is happening within me before I want to give the silent treatment. So for many of us at a deeper level, though, the silent treatment is just something that we don't actually try and use it as a weapon, but it's something that happens in your marriage because you just don't know what else to say. And it really brings up some very, very old wounds. And it's not because you really want to punish him, but deep down, there is a little bit of, I want you to see me. And not in a punishing way, Sometimes maybe because we are so deeply, profoundly hurt. This is something that has repeated the cycle over and over. And so it's like, okay, you're not going to listen to me. Okay, I'm just going to move away from you for a bit. And sometimes there is a little bit of a punishment there, but it's because you don't feel safe. You don't feel safe speaking, and you definitely don't feel safe speaking what is true to you, because when you have spoken your truth in the past, maybe in your childhood, maybe when you spoke up in school, etc., it wasn't accepted well. And so you eventually just begin to shrink your voice time and time again. So when I go into that silent space, it's because I feel unseen. I feel hurt. I feel misunderstood. And I learned as a child to actually shut down. And it felt like protection for me when I was younger, but really it's just disconnection. Like I just want to disconnect, and I don't want to have the conversation, but I want you to see that I'm hurting. I really want him to see that I'm hurting. But every time I withdrew from my husband, that space between us actually grew a little bit wider. And that's absolutely the opposite of what I wanted to happen. So maybe you can relate to this piece of it. It just feeling unseen, feeling like you're misunderstood, and you want to just go away and in a protective mode. So what is that all about? And I'm going to tell you something that I recognized the last time this happened. And I really can't remember the last time it happened, but I do recall that it was a very heated argument. And I remember being in a space where I had my knees up to my chest, and I was sitting like in a little tiny ball. And these were the words that came out in my head that I recognized that were playing out in my mind. And it's, if he really cared, he'd notice, he'd come find me. And the truth is, I wanted him to come find me. Why is that? Why is that I wanted him to come find me? It's because when that was my little girl in that space, my hurt little girl from my childhood. And it was, I'd been hurt by my mom or been hurt by friends, whatever that is. And my actions walking out of the room or coming home from school, my demeanor, my emotional state did not gather that attention. And when you don't get the attention that you feel you need, you want to go away, and you want someone to come to you. You want someone to come to you and wrap their arms around you and say, "What's up? How can I help you? What are you experiencing right now?" In that moment, when I was in that tiny little ball in my closet, I remembered that there was a part of me that never really felt held. I was the oldest in my family. I was the only girl, and I held space for everybody. I was the one that held space. I was a lot like the mother of the family. And so this part of me, that silent treatment part of me, became a part of me seeking my husband to come and hold me, to make me feel like I was held. But the interesting thing, you guys, is they can't read the pain that we're experiencing. They can't. We have to be willing to voice it. So for years and years and years in my marriage, I stayed so trapped in my own silence, waiting for him to fix something that really only I could fix, only I could heal. And it was that scared little girl that never felt held, seen, or important. And when I learned to heal that side of me, that little girl, I no longer needed to have the silent treatment. I no longer needed for him to come find me. I felt very safe to actually climb up in his lap while he was sitting in his recliner in a chair and say, I just need you to hold me right now. I don't need to say anything. I don't need you to say anything. Just wrap your arms around me. I'm going to put my arms around you. I'm going to roll up in a little ball here and just hold me. And he became that safe space, but I became a safe space for me as well. And when you just want to be held, once you've healed those sides of you and your partner feels safe for you, you can go to him and say, I just need to be held by someone right now. And that's a very, very powerful place to be. A very powerful place to be. But first, I had to learn to become safe within myself. First, I had to learn that the silent treatment really wasn't what I needed to do. I needed to process through my emotions and go back to that hurt little girl that was wounded from childhood and really heal that side of me. And the problem with the silent treatment for us in every relationship is that it actually deepens resentment. It buries those emotions that you are silently holding in. It buries those in your body and it keeps you stuck in this emotional loop, right? And so when those emotions are not expressed, they're held in your body. And now, every time something happens, there's just an explosion of all these emotions. We actually don't go silent because we don't care. We go silent because we're actually overwhelmed by so much emotion, overwhelmed by that old wound popping up, and overwhelmed by the feeling that speaking up won't matter anyway, because time and time again, that is what has happened in the past. But silence never gives us what we actually crave, because what we're actually craving in that moment is to be seen, to be understood, and to feel important. And that's what you need to learn to do within you. So constantly seeking it from somebody else is a dangerous loop, because when it's not given to us, we feel empty. And so learning to make yourself feel important, learning to see yourself, not putting yourself aside, your needs aside, is one of the most valuable things that you can do for yourself. So start to notice, where am I not seeing myself? Where am I not making myself important? And that's the work that you need to do, because you've actually taught other people, I'm the strong one. I'm not important because I put everybody else's needs aside. And you need to start seeing yourself. You need to start understanding yourself and having compassion for yourself. But when I feel myself closing up, when you feel yourself closing up, I want to give you some things that you can do. Number one, name the truth. Something inside me feels triggered right now. I need a moment to process before I respond. That is something that you can say to your partner. Something in me feels triggered right now. I need a moment just to process. This will keep you from being reactive. Number two is stay connected even while taking space. Okay. So let them know, I love you. I just need a little time to get clear so that I can speak from calm instead of reaction. The hardest part is number one, is learning to say it out loud. Something in me feels triggered right now. Let me to have a moment so I can process before I respond. And that just, you feel it well up in your chest when you're feeling triggered. And then you just let them know, I love you. I just need a little time. Everything's going to be okay. Right? So when you come back, you aren't reacting. And then come back with intention is number three. Once you've moved through that emotion, share what was really underneath it. Usually an old wound, not the moment itself. This shift doesn't happen overnight. I'm going to tell you that. It is really a practice. And first of all, it's a practice just to say, whoa, my go-to is to react right now. And going to that step one and saying, okay, I'm feeling it in me. I need to let the person know, hey, I'm being triggered. I need to take a step back and process these emotions. And once we're able to walk through these steps, it becomes possible for you to really take a look at the whole dynamic of reaction and come back with intention and have a civil conversation. And that makes all the difference in the world. What I would recommend for any of us when we are in that reactive state is 100%. You need to work through that resentment. And if you haven't worked through your resentment, go and check out my resentment reset. It's a free product, a free download. You can catch it on Instagram, grab it. It's super helpful because I walk you through the process of the resentment and lead you through a meditation of release. So super powerful. That is a great place to start because the reactivity is based on stuffing our emotions down time and time and time again. And so then, you're releasing the resentment and your body can begin to heal from that. Now, I will tell you, we all know, if you've been with me for a while, that resentment tells a story. And the story is what actually needs to be healed. So if you're looking to go deeper beyond the resentment, my Conscious Marriage Method program is going live. And now is the time to join that program. I only take a few. And here's the reason why. 15 is what I take. The reason why I take 15 is that it's a very intense 4-month program. There are modules to go through, pre-recorded modules, and then I coach. We do live calls and I coach you through the belief. It's so transformational because as one woman is coached through their belief, you'll be able to relate to all of them because we all have at least 10 belief systems that are not serving us in the form of I am not or I am something negative. Okay. We all have those. And so when I coach someone through theirs, it is going to help you see yours. Now, we all have a lot of superficial beliefs, but there is one that goes really, really deep. That is the one. That is the one that I'm good at finding, is the one that really runs the show on a deeper level. That is the one that runs all of the others. It's a thread. And that's what we will be coaching through. So Conscious Marriage Method, we're going to put the link in the show notes. Would love for you to be a part of it. But like I said, there are limited spaces. I only take 15. I want to be able to coach each person through their deepest belief that is running the show. Love you. I hope this has been super helpful. I hope you have seen within yourself the areas where you play the silent treatment, and now you really understand why. Give yourself some grace. It's that wounded little child within you that just wants to be held and seen and made feel important. It's your job to make her be seen, healed, and important, heard, held, all of the things. And once you're able to do that for yourself, it's so much easier to receive from your partner. God bless you.
Hey, thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Limitless Podcast. If you loved it, and I know you did, make sure to like and subscribe and share it with others. Help us get the message out. See you next week.